At Adira Nature Reserve we have a variety of habitats. There's the brackish lagoon, there's salt marshes, and there's also an area of sand dunes. This in the past was rather degraded because there were a lot of invasive species like acacia which were growing here, but following the restoration, that is removal of the acacia trees and all the organic matter which had gathered under them, we had to remove all this organic matter in order to restore the site. Once the sand was cleared, we got a lot of different sand dune species which are now increasing in area. Adira Nature Reserve opens for visitors from September till May. Throughout the autumn, winter period and spring, you get a variety of birds. In the whole year, we record around 160 different species. In the summer months, we close because there's breeding birds, the black-winged stilts and littering plovers get stressed easily. That is, if there's someone walking in the path, the black-winged stilts would be continuously flying above him because they get very stressed. So it's important that during the breeding season we were not open for the public. During the year, a visitor can enjoy different species in different seasons. That is, if one comes in September and October, one can see different waders species or even herons and kingfishers. Every day brings different birds. Some birds can stay for a couple of weeks, other birds can stay just a couple of hours. In winter one gets black-necked grebes and coats and maybe duck species, different duck species, water rails, and a lot of different wintering passerines also, like wagtails, white wagtails, grey wagtail, pipits, meadow pipits and stonechats, different wintering birds. But then comes spring, you can even get up to 50 different species on a single day. You get different waders, sandpipers, plovers, stilts, and also different heron species can show up. But not just wetland birds, because despite being a wetland, it also attracts a lot of other passerines, that is like garden warblers, wood warblers, willow warblers. We see a lot of these. Through bird ringing, one can estimate how much migration is going through the reserve. And such birds will stop even for a couple of hours and continue their northbound migration. The reserve is quite small, so part of it can be visited by the public while part of it is out of bounds. That is, the northern side is out of bounds, so that if birds are flushed from the southern side, sort of there's an area where they can still rest without being harassed. The public can visit the birdwatching hide and photographer's hide, and the photographer's hide is available through booking, and also the sand dune area, which also has a public path. The embankment surrounding the reserve, a lot of different shrub and tree indigenous species were planted here. One of them is the lentisk, Pistachia lentiscus. This tree offers a lot of food during autumn and winter for wintering birds. You find the red berries, which are fed upon by blackcaps, Sardinian warblers, robins, stonechats, and starlings, song thrushes. They all feed on this particular plant. And also we find other tree species like the tamarix, which is very, very ideal for this habitat, and also olive and other shrubs like the Mediterranean buckthorn. At Adira Nature Reserve we also have 4 freshwater ponds. These are artificial, but we fill them up because they attract a lot of local fauna like dragonflies, different dragonfly species. We have at least 8 different dragonfly species which come in this area, and also we find the young ones, the nymphs of dragonflies, and they breed in the freshwater ponds. they serve also for a lot of fauna, whether it's wild rabbits, sparrows, birds which are found throughout the summer. Even snakes feed on the painted frogs which are found in these ponds. And so there's a lot of a whole ecosystem which goes around these freshwater ponds.
Adira Nature Reserve is probably BirdLife Malta's best success story. Formed in the 1980s when we saved the site from the main road being built further inland, the reserve as we know it today was formed. But why was it formed in this way? BirdLife had sought the expertise of our colleagues from the United Kingdom to design the nature reserve as we know it today. So a series of canals, a series of pools and a series of islands which create a lot of mudflats and shorelines for the birds to feed. The place is unique in that it holds brackish water, which means that in summer it is quite salty, a lot salty, actually saltier than the seawater outside in the bay. But in winter, when it rains and the rainwater is collected here, the water turns slightly less saltier. And this creates a unique habitat which is ideal, for example, for species like the national fish of Malta, the killifish. And this in turn attracts a lot of birds. This place is unique for species like herons, grebes, coots, ducks and waders. We have also been successful in that the work on the habitat we have done has managed to attract new breeding birds to the Maltese Islands, namely the littering plover and the black-winged stilt. And we hope to be able to work more to improve the site for birds and visitors alike. BirdLife Malta manages the nature reserve thanks to an agreement we have in place with Ambient Malta and ERA. BirdLife Malta prepares a work plan based on 4 important pillars like habitat maintenance and visitor experience, through which we carry out the work which at the end of the day we report, as I said, to Ambient Malta and ERA. The place, though it's very important for nature and nature takes precedence, is also important for people, because this is the place whereby we can get a message across of how important and how great nature can be if given a chance to thrive in the Maltese Islands.